Here is the 10:30 a.m. Hurricane Zeta briefing on Wednesday, October 28th, 2020 from the National Weather Service office in Jackson, Mississippi. Something that's changed this morning is that Marion, Clark, and Lauderdale counties are included in the tropical storm warning. Hurricane Zeta is a bit stronger and is a Category 1 hurricane. While some weakening may occur before landfall, Zeta is still expected to make landfall in southeast Louisiana and then the Mississippi Gulf Coast later today as either a Category 1 or 2 hurricane and track northeast roughly along or just east of the I-59 corridor later this evening and tonight. The main impacts will be from heavy rainfall and especially strong wind, mainly over the southeast portions of the forecast area and especially on the eastern side of the system. This storm will be fast-moving and impacts will be fairly quick. There will be a sharp cutoff or gradient on the western side of the storm, especially for winds. Here is the latest track of Zeta as of 10 a.m. Hurricane Zeta is in the central Gulf of Mexico and has finally made the northern turn and is expected to continue towards the Louisiana and Mississippi Gulf coasts later this afternoon into the evening. The expectation is a Category 1 at landfall, but it also may be a Category 2. Here is a look at the current watches, warnings, and advisories. There's a flash flood watch outlined for the southeastern part of Mississippi, but also tropical storm warnings are in effect, which now include Marion, Clark, and Lauderdale counties. Taking a look at the tropical storm wind speed probabilities, the highest chances for tropical storm force winds are mainly over the southeast portions of the area. However, a sharp gradient will exist on the western side of the storm. So it really depends on where the track of the storm will be. Taking a look at the wind threat from Zeta, there's an elevated risk for wind gusts of 50 to 60 miles an hour in the orange area, generally along the I-59 corridor. Down trees and power lines are likely, and this could result in some power outages, potentially lasting a few days. And then a limited threat exists of wind gusts of 30 to 50 miles an hour, just outside of that elevated risk area, and this will also result in some scattered down trees and power lines. The timing for this from onset through the whole duration of the wind would be from 5 p.m. this evening through 2 a.m. tonight. And here's the most likely onset timing of tropical storm force winds and gusts. Starting in the Hattiesburg area and Marion, Lamar, Forest counties around 5 or 6 this evening, and then continuing up the I-59 corridor around 6 to 8 p.m. in the Jones County and Jefferson Davis County areas, and then starting around 8 to 10 p.m. as you get closer to the I-20 corridor. Again, the duration of highest winds will be about 3 to 5 hours, and there will be a sharp western wind gradient as Zeta lifts quickly off to the northeast. Expected total rainfall, about 2 to 4 inches over southeast portions of Mississippi with localized higher amounts, and this could lead to some flash flooding issues. Again, there's an elevated threat for the southeast part of the forecast area, and this is where the flash flood watch also is in effect. For 2 to 4 inches of rain with localized amounts up to 6 inches, and there could be some areas of flash flooding and maybe some minor river flooding possible. And then 1 to 2 inches of rain with localized amounts up to 4 inches, bordering that elevated threat area. So some key takeaways: strong winds up to tropical storm strength will be possible across the I-59 corridor later this evening into tonight. Be a rather short time period as the storm is small and fast moving, but this will bring down trees and power lines and may result in power outages to some affected areas. Rainfall, some locally heavy, may result in localized flooding. Minor river flooding may occur in a few spots. And it looks like the tornado threat will be mainly south and east of our area. The far southern Pine Belt may be most impacted, but it looks to be further towards the coast for this system. And the next briefing, we don't have one scheduled at this time, but if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can give us a call, send us an email, or contact us on our social media pages.